Coming up in a few minutes, South Padre Island is getting ready for spring break, plus the race for Congress in District 15, and one organization's love for the art of dance. UTRGV TV starts now. Hey there, thanks for joining us on this week's edition of UTRGV TV. I am Orlando Vargas. Well, spring break is just around the corner and the city of South Padre Island is gearing up for the busiest time of the year. Our reporter Steven Cavazos went to find out how the large crowds of beachgoers are making a splash on the island and what officials are doing to prepare for the holiday.
Well, here on South Padre Island, the waters may be calm right now, but all of that is about to change in the next few weeks when spring break kicks off. And officials and local businesses are preparing for the annual holiday. Spacious beaches and unique shopping are what attract visitors to South Padre Island every day. But with spring break looming around the corner, the island becomes the destination for college students looking to cut loose.
I'm very excited because I'm going to get to have a few days to rest and go to the beach.
The large number of people that visit the island for spring break is something that store owner Arlene McKinley says is a positive thing for her local establishment.
This is like the kickoff for our busy season, which is normally June, July, and August, but spring and Easter, they're big times for us. The spring break students come, families come, there's a big influx of people all at once.
Although spring breakers come to enjoy the relaxing atmosphere the island offers, students like Blanca Garcia don't enjoy the limited space during the holiday.
There was a lot of people. It was crowded. That's the thing I didn't enjoy.
SPI spokesman Gary Ainsworth says the city is prepared for the wave of people that will soon occupy the island.
We do everything we can to ensure everyone is safe here for the whole time they're here. We want everyone to be safe. We'll do everything in our power to keep them safe, but sometimes, there are events that are just beyond our control.
One incident last year involved a 21-year-old woman who died from injuries after falling 7 floors from a balcony. Although the tragedy did not occur on the beach, Ainsworth still urges visitors to be cautious throughout their stay.
Our priority number one, 365 days of the year, is public safety. We want everyone to come here, enjoy the time, make it memorable, not regrettable.
Despite problems in the past, Ainsworth understands the island offers many commodities for residents and visitors, and its unique environment is what draws people in.
We want tourists, that's what drives our economy. That's one of the things that makes us a draw. People move down here for the specific reason of being at the beach. So, why else would you go anywhere else?
Now officials do urge spring breakers to follow all regulations while here on the island. Minors, of course, should avoid alcohol consumption, and narcotics are strictly prohibited. As Ainsworth said, it's important to have fun, but make this spring break memorable, not regrettable. From South Padre Island, Steven Cavazos, UTRGV TV.
It's an art expressed through the form of dance. UTRGV's Ballet Folklorico has performed hundreds of times across the valley and the nation. Our Jessica Encina shows us one of Mexico's strongest traditions.
A lot of people don't even know we exist.
It's been around for more than 45 years now. 6 months of practice, it will be around, 500 hours of practice for every show.
UTRGV is home to many programs that are not available in other schools throughout the nation.
Well, it's becoming really popular. Almost every middle school, and I could say every high school in the valley has a folklorico group. So it's becoming very popular.
With a rich history, Ballet Folklorico has made its mark beyond the valley.
It started as an extracurricular activity, and it was supposed to be to try to teach about our historical, cultural background.
The legacy of Ballet Folklorico at UTRGV continues to strive on, opening doors for students and bringing recognition to the valley. In Edinburgh, Jessica Encina in the valley.
UTRGV's Ballet Folklorico will be making their way to Mississippi for a dance conference later this month. Well, 2 local candidates will face off once again for Congressman Ruben Hinojosa's seat in District 15. Atalia Lara has those details from McAllen.
Democratic candidate Vicente Gonzalez held a watch party for the election of the next representative of U.S. Congressional District 15.
We're at 55% approach. We just got
The 15th congressional race started with Gonzalez taking the lead with 43.56%.
It's been a long, hard fight, and it looks like we're finally here. I can see the sun at the end of the tunnel, as they say.
No matter the results, the McAllen attorney is thankful.
We thought we were doing well. Obviously, the community has come out overwhelmingly on our side, and we thank them every day, and we thank the students at UTRGV.
Vicente fell short of the 51% majority he needed to receive full election. Gonzalez will be headed to a runoff with Juan Sonny Palacios.
The next thing is then to strategize exactly what we're going to do over the next 3 months for a runoff, because the runoff will be May 24th.
Sonny and Vicente will have a rematch. Elections are on May 24th. For UTRGV TV, I am Atalia Lara.
The arts and the literacy of the Hispanic culture were celebrated this entire week in the annual event known as Festiva. Many professors hosted a variety of workshops about specific types of literature and art. Students had the opportunity to showcase and read some of their own work.
I like to use Festiva as a sort of a training event for my students, to get them to see that what we study in class is part of a bigger picture, that all scholarship and all art is like some kind of grand ongoing cultural dialogue.
And every year, Festiva brings awareness and appreciation of the arts and literacy to our community. Now, V-Nation is always full of sports. We have baseball, basketball, volleyball, track and field. And for that, we head now to our sports director, Daniel Galvan, who is on the other side of the studio with more.
This past week, you had Steph Curry lighting it up in the world of basketball. And this past week, you had the NFL Combine with draft prospects running around in their underwear, which is something I do on a daily basis, by the way. But you don't see that on the NFL Network. And this week, you also had another Republican debate. So what I'm saying, it was a good week in sports, no doubt about it. But the week was just as good here at UTRGV with action in all kinds of sports. Firstly, our college football team remains undefeated. Secondly, the UTRGV women's basketball team played their last home game over the weekend before they traveled to New Mexico to play New Mexico State and then to Las Vegas for the WAC tournament. It was senior night for the team as they played Chicago State. The squad said goodbye to two seniors, Jada Bennett and Raquel Preston. Bennett transferred over from North Florida. When she's played as a Vaquero and as a Bronx, she brought a good energy on the court, but she's had a tough time with injuries, and I'll get to Preston's story after the highlights because this is a good one. But UTRGV ended up beating Chicago State fairly comfortably after a slow start. A big reason why is the constant reason why for the Vaqueros, junior guard and future world leader Shantae Goff. She brought the intensity on defense and brought the points on offense. Goff scored 21 points and had 6 rebounds to help UTRGV get the win. Goff was great, as was Raquel Preston. It was a solid performance as usual from this senior, showing her athleticism to her work in transition, and she scored with layups en route to a 9.7 rebound outing. UTRGV won the game against Chicago State 78-56, and their record is now 16-12 for Coach Larry Tidwell. But on to Raquel Preston, who played her last regular season home game for UTPA UTRGV. And just a few words from me on her. Firstly, I want to thank her for attending this school, being here 4 years. She's talked to me the past couple years about her journey she's been on as a college player. And at first for her, it wasn't easy. There was a learning process, and her immediate expectations as a freshman weren't a reality. But instead of caving into that, she didn't. She responded like few people do, and she grew and grew and grew every year. Sophomore year for her, Coach Tidwell comes in and he recognizes the potential she had, and she did too. And with the constant work on the court and off the court as a leader, she's progressed in sync with how this basketball program has progressed. So because of that now, Preston has started every single game as a senior here at UTRGV. She's been a key figure as a defensive stopper and as a real threat in fast break situations, and it's one of the real rocks of this team. And this team has become something special for the university because this is UTRGV's team, and it's been an incredible group to watch. They're talented, and they've competed in the WAC conference time in and time out this year, and they have a real chance here with Preston and Goff and Anushka Maldonado and Bernicia Peters and Hilden Yardsdottir and so many other talented players. They have a real chance to win the WAC tournament in Las Vegas and go to March Madness, and that's special. And as someone who's born and raised in the RGV, I just want to say thank you to Raquel Preston and Jada Bennett and Coach Tidwell and the rest of the team for giving the university in my home area an opportunity to watch a great, great basketball team, both on and off the court. Moving on to the men's team. They also had success over the weekend, traveling to Illinois and beating Chicago State. There were 5 vaqueros scoring in double figures in this game. Firstly, freshman Antonio Green back. He had 21 points and 6 assists. 2 of those assists, by the way, were on some great dunks from senior Shaq Hines. Hines had a double-double with 10 and 14 rebounds, and he had 3 sweet dunks. And then J.J. Thompson off the bench had 18 points, with starters Dakota Slaughter and Dan Kamasa putting up 17 and 16 respectively. They play the New Mexico State Aggies here in Edinburgh on Saturday, and I'll have those highlights on next week's Sportscast. And speaking of sports, baseball season started last week, hooray, or at least at home. But this week, they were in town with the Al Ogletree Classic. It was a tournament with 4 teams, UTRGV, Washington State from the Pac-12, A&M, Prairie View A&M, and Houston Baptist University. The tournament celebrated Al Ogletree, who was a legend, one of the great athletic leaders and leaders in general here for UTPA. Ogletree managed the UTPA baseball team from the late 60s when my mother was born to the late 90s when I was born. Just kidding, Mom was born in the 40s. I think what I can say about him is I can't really remember those early years because I wasn't born yet, but Ogletree was a big deal, and he still is a big deal. He amassed over 1,200 wins for the Bronx, and he helped celebrate and the Vaqueros helped celebrate that by going 3-1 in the tournament with wins over 2 of the teams and a loss to Houston Baptist on Saturday. UTRGV kicked off the Classic on Thursday with a 3-1 win over the Washington State Cougars. Johnny Gonzalez was the pitcher for UTRGV, and he was great. He pitched 8 in the 3rd innings and had 8 flipping strikeouts, only giving up 1 earned run. Gonzalez thus far this year has earned 2.03 earned run average. And so the sophomore from Corpus Christi took care of things from the mound, and leadoff left fielder Joseph Colasso drove in 2 of the runs with a hit here, bringing in Corey Davis and Anthony Gomez. Colosso also had a home run to come out of the Classic with UTRGV's 11-9 Prairie View win on Sunday, and they beat Prairie View on Friday as well, 7-6. And to close things out with the rest of UTRGV athletics, freshman golfer Emma Mesta was a straight-up superstar. She won the GCU Invitational in Arizona. Mesta had a final score of 221. She bested athletes from 14 different schools to win that tournament thanks to a final round of 72. Men's tennis beat a pair of Saints this past week too, not a sin. They beat St. Edward's and St. Mary's University, and Juan Cruz Soria continues to excel. He went undefeated again, winning both of his singles matches and both of his doubles matches. And lastly, onto the track and field team. They traveled to Idaho. I believe they have potatoes, and a lot of athletes there had plenty of success, specifically Leo Kwan Williams, who placed second in the women's triple jump, and Megan Shaw, who placed second as well in the women's shot put. This was at the WAC Indoor Championship. So that does it for this week's sports segment. Shout out to Leonardo DiCaprio, who beat up a bear, won an Oscar, and did all this after dying on the Titanic. So that's pretty crazy. And speaking of crazy, Congressman Michael Burgess, who represents Texas, by the way, voted against naming a post office after the great poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou. That's actually not crazy. That's just stupid. Reporting for UTRGV TV, I'm Daniel Galvan. Back to Orly, who's 5 feet away from me.
Well, thank you, Daniel, for all those sports highlights. Remember to go ahead and visit all those games. All you need is a Vaquero student ID. Well, we want to thank you once again for joining us on this week's edition of UTRGV TV. And hey, if you have a story idea, don't hesitate to let us know. You can find us on Facebook at UTRGV TV, on Twitter at UTRGV TV, and hey, shoot us an email and we'll get back to you. Just search for UTRGV TV at gmail.com. Now, that's all the time we have for you today. I'm Orlando Vargas. See you until next time.